My beautiful hauntlings, to be completely fair, I wish to give you ample warning of what you are about to witness in this video. This story was narrated with the full permission and cooperation of the author. The author is credited with complete ownership and reserved rights. Links to the original story and the author's online information are found in the description below the video when available. This video may contain elements of horror, terror, jump scares, gore, adult language, suggestive, mature, and sensitive situations, and possibly triggering subjects. It is not intended for younger audiences and may not be suitable for some viewers. So, if you are under the age of consent, of weak disposition, easily triggered, or offended, you should probably leave the screening of this video now. Have they gone? Good. Those of you who are brave enough to stay, you have been warned. So without further ado, it is my pleasure to present the feature presentation of this video. Remember, the following presentation may be disturbing to some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome, my beautiful hauntlings, to episode 28 of Mina Narrates. I'm your host, Mina. Thanks for joining me in my haunted library. In this episode, I'm doing more modern creepypasta written by one of the wonderful authors I have been blessed to know in the horror community. I think at this point most of us know what a creepypasta is. Without getting into the history of the words, creepypastas are horror-related legends shared around the internet and sometimes in literature. They have become a catch-all term for any horror content posted to the internet. The author I chose is As the Raven Dreams. If you don't know, As the Raven Dreams has a website with some of his stories available for others to use. The use is CCBYSA. The link to this creepypasta is in the description below. Now let me whisper in your ears. An Unexpected Call by As the Raven Dreams. We often take the little things in life for granted. Those silent minutes the morning between each time you smack the snooze button on your clock, for instance. A few moments in the morning where you can shut your eyes and catch a few more minutes of sleep, or can stare at the ceiling thinking about all the things you've been through in your life. Not to get existential, but that's what I like to do mostly. I would wake up in the morning between 7:45 and 8:15. For most of my life, I would stare at the back of my eyelids for that last half hour. But lately, my focus has been on the ceiling fan as it slowly spins clockwise rotation. My brain didn't care for the fan, but I needed something visually to connect with. Otherwise, I would let my thoughts get the best of me. Today, that's exactly what I did. I woke up and stared at the fan for a while, trying to breathe and accept that it was a new dawn. Trying to accept that I was going to make it through yet another mundane day of calling clients and documenting answers for people that made way more money than me. What's worse is that it was my birthday. 53 years had gone by in my life. 53 years of fighting to get ahead of my peers, of doing what I needed to do to succeed. I had issues. Sure, family problems, financial struggles, but I always came out on top. Failure was not an option for me. Never had been, and never would be. I had proven that recently as my thoughts were interrupted by the phone ringing. A short burst of beeps and tones coming from the hunk of plastic that ran my life. My initial thought was it was a client, one that had no concept of business hours. It was 8 in the morning. But when I picked it up, I saw who it actually was. I slowly motioned my hand to swipe the screen, shifting it to the detail page of the call. I took a deep breath and pulled it to my ear. Hello? Happy birthday, Dad! A short phrase, one that meant the world to me when I would get the call every year. My daughter was always good at remembering things, remembering to call on a weekly basis and such. But when my birthday rolled around, My phone would go off at 8 on the dot. She would be on the other end to excitingly wish me a happy birthday and then start singing the song beautifully with her bright tone. She would light up my day with a simple phone call. The small act made the pains of getting older lighter, made the hard times that I had to deal with much easier on me. She and I hadn't always seen eye to eye. She was much more liberal and loose in her life. I was a bit more conservative and strict. I raised her right, though. She never questioned my actions, even if she didn't agree with them. She was, in all honesty, just like her mother. Both of them had been there for me through the hardest times in my life. Both of them have stepped up to the plate when money was scarce. Her mother would always tell me that things would be okay. Then, when she was gone, my little girl was there to help me. Only last week she was there to help me when I felt like everything was about to come crashing down around me. Business had been doing too well due to the state of the world. She was my saving grace. I was able to turn to her for a way out. She wasn't even aware of how much support she'd managed to supply, but I appreciated it. "Are you there, Dad?" Her tone changed out of curiosity. I held the phone tightly. I could feel my face shifting into a hard frown. "Dad?" "Yeah, I'm here," I answered, the best I could, clearing my throat and regaining my composure. I'm here. What are you doing?" "Calling you." I could hear her chuckle. "Yeah, I noticed." I wasn't sure where to take this conversation. Is there anything new with you, kiddo?" "Oh, you know." Her voice sounded bright and happy. "I've just been thinking about the last time we got together." I felt my hands get clammy. The last time we saw each other, things got a bit out of hand. "I wanted to let you know that there are no hard feelings between us. I know you were just doing what you needed to do." "Well," I coughed, "I'm glad you understand." I stood up and got out of bed, quickly walking through the house into the kitchen, passing by various photos of my accomplishments on the way. "I didn't mean to cause you any problem. It wasn't easy for me to talk to you about needing money." "I know," she laughed, "and I appreciate you coming to me for help." I sat down in the chair at my kitchen table and stared at the papers that were lying on the surface. Most of them marked overdue or in collections. Most of them a failure of action. A failure I needed to solve. "Did you at least get the money?" My throat felt dry and the knot grew larger. "I'm working on that." "Good." Her bright tone and soft laughter slowly grew into a more serious tone. "I hope you can get that sorted out here soon." "Yeah, me too." I picked up one of the documents from the table. A simple statement explaining an insurance policy. "Well, I'll let you get back to filling out paperwork. I know you don't have much time left to get that done." My lip quivered as I stared at the paper. "Mom wanted me to tell you hi and that we'll see you soon." With that sentence, she hung up. I slowly lowered the phone from my ear and held my stare on the life insurance document, the one that was set to pay out in a couple of days. My stare shifted toward the paper that was clipped to the policy, a death certificate, my daughter's death certificate. And the policy for $500,000 were going to be the answer to my problems, an answer I had put into motion. Our last get-together ended with my daughter at the bottom of her basement stairs, her neck snapped clean in two, and me calling the police in a fake panic. They bought it. Everybody did. We'd had too much to drink. She went downstairs and fell. It was a simple plan, and I had executed it flawlessly. Well, I thought I had. The one thing I hadn't counted on was getting a call from my daughter almost a week after I'd killed her. My breaths were labored, and my chest was beginning to feel heavy as my vision slowly blurred. The last thing she said to me echoed nonstop in my head, caused the sweat to pour from my skin, and my eyes to well up in nonstop tears. "We'll see you soon." Thank you for listening to As the Raven Dreams' unexpected call and making it to the end. As the Raven Dreams, aka Raven Adams, is a skilled and prolific published author and YouTube narrator. He is working on republishing his books so we can all enjoy them. He has taken the YouTube horror community by storm. He is not only a great friend, but a wonderful guide and inspiration to many. Really, there aren't many who could say enough wonderful things about this man and his wonderful wife, Patience, herself an author and voice actor. He also created the Nevermore Collective for those of us who have content that doesn't quite fit our channel. It allows us more avenues of YouTube and what our listeners may want to hear or see. I suggest you check him out and show him some love. What did you think of the story? I think it's an unexpected twist at the end, though I will admit I had figured out some of it before we got to the end. Did you? What did you think of the twist? Let me know what you think in the comments. While you're down there, please give the video a like and share it out. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing and ringing the bell so it rings so you don't miss the next video. I want to say thank you to all of you who have subscribed. I appreciate your faith in me and enjoyment of my content and your patience. I love and appreciate all of you. Thank you to everyone who has been so welcoming and supportive and helpful. Until we meet again, have a wonderful night or day and be safe.